Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about the Princess 10K race that happened in Walt Disney World. I'm going to skip ahead and not talk about the expo because I talked about it in my 5K video. If you haven't seen that, you can click right up there and we'll put a link over there. But I will tell you that at the expo for the 10K, this is the shirt that I got for the 10K run. So on the side it says Run Disney, and then this is the front of it because it was Beauty and the Beast themed this year. So now we're going to jump ahead and we're going to go all the way to Friday night. Ready? Let's go. So on Friday night we decided that we were going to go see Wishes before we turned in for the night. Now I really do not recommend doing this. We misjudged how tired we were going to be after the 5K. And we did Animal Kingdom in the morning as well as Epcot, and then we went to Magic Kingdom, and we did not get back to our room until around 11 o'clock. So super late inside the night. So we only ended up getting about 3.5, 4 hours of sleep before the 10K. Bad decisions. So we woke up for the 10K around 3 o'clock, and we quickly got ready, and then we were heading to the bus. Now you have to wake up a little bit earlier for the 10K because it starts earlier than the 5K does. It starts at 5:30. So very similar to the 5K where you have different corrals and you're going to go and you're going to be placed inside of a corral. I was originally in Corral C, and then I had a friend in E and I had a friend in F. So for this one we did have to maneuver a few things. So my friend in E decided to stay and I decided to go all the way back to F, which was the last corral. But we knew from the 5K that there's many sub-corrals. So when we got there a little early, and we made sure that we were in the first group that left for F. Because if we did that, we automatically saved ourselves just a couple of minutes, like 3 or 4 minutes, in case we fell behind, in case we had to wait in line for a porta potty or something. So we had to wait forever for this race to start. So here's some selfies that we took while we were waiting. And then finally it was our turn to go. Now I'm not sure if other people realized that the closer you are to the front, the faster you start. Like there's mini sub corrals, but there was definitely some pushing and shoving going on in the beginning because everyone just wants to go. If you are in F, you are the last of the last, and that 16-minute per mile starts as soon as the last starter crosses that finish line. So if you're in that last group, you really have to keep with that pace and you have no time for mess up. So we made it into the first group. The fireworks go off and we run that first mile. So very similar to 5K, we just run. Now something different about the 10K as opposed to the 5K is that the first 3 miles are on road and you actually run like on the highway, if you want to call it that, around Epcot, and then you end up backstage around mile 3. That's when you start on stage. So the first mile, there were not many characters, and I was like, oh my god, how am I doing this for 6 miles? And then all of a sudden above us, Moana is there saying, "You can do it, Islanders, I believe in you." And I was like, yes, Moana, yes girl, we can do this. We are going to get this done. I don't know what my hands just did. So we keep running and we see the mile 1 marker. And I checked my phone and we were at about a 10-minute per mile pace, which was very good for us. So we keep on going and there's a first curve around the edge after mile 1. And it was some villain. Might have been Jafar. We did not stop. We said no bueno, and we kept going. So we're doing mile 2, we're running, and we see Tink and all of the Pixie Hollow friends, like all of them. Terrence was there. And we really did want to stop, and Rachel got a little upset with me, my friend, because I wouldn't let her stop because I felt like we weren't far enough away from the back yet. And the line was about probably like 10 minutes long. So we passed them. It's probably my biggest regret of the whole race. And we kept going. And then I'm not sure if this was at mile 3 or before mile 3. I'm pretty sure it's before mile 3 because mile 3 was right before backstage, yeah. So, before mile 3, we saw another character. They were actually on break, so we were asking people who it was. It ended up being the witch from Snow White who was meeting people. And then we continued on, and we had some Disney music going on the highway. And then at mile 3, we saw a bus, like a huge Disney bus, and that was a sign that we made it past our first set of sweeps. So if you were not keeping up at the 60-minute per mile pace, you would have been swept right around mile 3. And we were looking at everyone's bibs around us, and we were probably around the end of E. There were some F's around us, but it was a lot of bibs that said E on them. So we kind of breathed a little bit, and we were like, okay, we're gonna be okay. So we weren't running as much. We were able to save our stamina a little bit more because we figured we were safe. So mile 3 is a little bit backstage. It's kind of similar to the path of the 5K. So you go behind like test track area, and you pop up between Mexico and Norway. So we go in, and the World Showcase is the best part to run. It's just easy to run, it's easy to pace, it's more wide, so it's easier to say if you are running, you can go over here, if you're jogging, you can go over here. And even if there's someone who forgets like what side to go to, or I know we forgot sometimes which side to go to, like runner's etiquette you hear about a lot, it was okay because everything was spread out. It was a great time. And then we exited near the International Gateway, and we saw Minnie was a super long line, so long. And so we just passed her up. There were definitely other characters, by the way, that we saw in World Showcase that I am not remembering. I believe Dopey was there again, and we were like, we saw you yesterday, buddy. We're not going again. And then we went on the boardwalk, and we saw Tourist Genie, and the line was not super long. We could have waited, but at that point we were around mile 4, and we were in a groove. We were like, why are we gonna stop? We've got this. And we were just we had a nice pace going. So we passed on Genie. The boardwalk was very slippery, so we had to slow down our pace. But the great thing, Yacht and Beach Club and the boardwalk were my favorite part to run. Like the 5K, it was Epcot because it's just spread out and it's beautiful. But the Yacht and Beach Club and the boardwalk were surprisingly my favorite for the 10K. All of the guests were out there, all the little kids, and they had signs up and they were giving high fives, and it was so sweet. So it was definitely a really nice and encouraging moment being in Yacht and Beach Club and the boardwalk. So we made it past the boardwalk, we went back up, we popped out near Canada, and we continued running, and then we went out, and you stopped hearing Disney music and it became like regular music playing. So right near Spaceship Earth, there's a stage that was set up. The song Jump came on, and it was like, yes, we can do it. And so we looped around Spaceship Earth, popped out in the back, and we saw mile 6, and we were like, we're almost there. And then we passed the finish line, and we did it. That was basically my 10K experience. We stopped for no pictures until after the 10K. We met Ariel. Line was about 40 minutes long. Alright guys, so I'm gonna give you a few quick pointers if you are thinking about doing the 10K. A lot of people are upset when they get a corral that's like E or F because for the 10K, because that's normally someone who has not run a 10K before, and they're putting you in the back of the pack, and they're saying, yeah, you have to keep this pace. And whereas the people in A have their 16 minutes plus the 16 minutes of B plus the 16 minutes in C plus the 16 minutes in E, and then the 16 minutes of F. So if you're getting swept in A, you got some real issues there. Like, you probably got hurt. So I know people get upset, but we looked at it as, now that we've done a Run Disney race, we now have our pace. And our pace was faster. Our average ended up being about 13 minutes per mile. So we can now enter that for future races. So definitely your first race, you might not be able to meet all the characters, and that's okay. Make sure that you eat breakfast. I know I said that in the other video, but really make sure to eat breakfast. A good idea is at some of the resorts they have power packs that you can buy the night before. You can buy that. I actually went to Starbucks the night before and bought hard-boiled eggs that I had for breakfast, and it wasn't a lot, it was just a little bit, and then afterwards we went to Coronado Springs and had real breakfast. So I do want to show you guys my medal that I got, so hang on 1 second, I'm gonna get it. You guys still here? Okay. So this is the medal that I got for the 10K. It is beautiful. That's what it looks like. So shiny. Yeah, and it says Princess 10K. And it is great. I love this medal. I continuously said over and over again, like, I can't believe I ran this thing. It's really quite amazing. And on that note, we got an email saying that you can early register for next year's 10K, and guess what I did? I'm registered! Yes. So if you are running the 10K next year, leave a comment down below because I will probably see you there. So if you guys have any questions regarding Run Disney races or anything Disney related, leave a comment down below and I will try to answer it. I'm also going to try to make videos every week or two. There's going to be a lot of Disney ones just because I used to work there, so I know a lot of hidden tricks and tips about Disney World. But I'm also going to make some vlogs in the near future anytime that I travel. So if you have any questions regarding Disney, like a top 5 rides or anything like that, also leave a comment down below because I will make sure to make a video on them. And now that my Run Disney ones are done, they shouldn't be this long. Alright guys, until next time, bye!